Hello everyone, a warm welcome to you all. I am Nissi and this is Icon Talks, a platform which believes in educating, equipping and enlightening people. We're doing this YouTube series where we listen from icons of various fields on different set of topics. And the topic for today is developing the leader within you. Most of us at some point in time aspired to be leaders, be a sports captain, a class monitor, a team lead, or just the person in charge. Some of us might have had the opportunities, some of us might not have. But can we actually become leaders? Is there a leader within us? Are leaders born or are leaders made? Let's find out answers to such questions in today's talk. The speaker for today is Mr. Kishore Borra. He is the managing director of EnergyTech Global, a software solutions company. He's a published author, a software professional, a certified member of the John Maxwell team. His is a family of 4, him, his wife, and his 2 sons. Kishore is a double gold medalist. Yes, you heard it right. And his book is titled Don't Coast, and it is available on Flipkart and on Amazon. Now let's get on to listening to him about developing the leader within us. The time is yours, Kishore.
Thank you, Nissi. Thank you, Sunil. Thanks for inviting me to Icon Talks. Friends, my name is Kishore Borra. I've done dual masters in physics and energy systems with gold medals. I'm now working as a managing director of an IT company called EnergyTech Global. So EnergyTech is an open source technology company which is in the business of building enterprise software solutions for global energy markets. And I'm also a leadership evangelist and a certified member of John Maxwell team. And if you're wondering what John Maxwell team is, it's a group of Maxwell certified coaches, trainers, and speakers who are accelerating the personal and professional growth to both individual as well as companies worldwide. And I've been recently elected as the managing committee member of HISIA, Hyderabad Software Enterprises Association, which is a 28-year-old association and has got more than 300 registered members, representing nearly 90% of Telangana's IT industry, both in terms of revenue and employee headcount. I'm also a published author, and after having 20 plus years of corporate experience, I shared my insights on how to accelerate one's personal and professional growth in my book, Don't Coast, which is currently available on both Amazon and Flipkart, in both digital and paperback versions. And part of Icon Talks, today I'm going to talk to you about 2 things. First, I'm going to define what is leadership. I'm going to help you understand what is true leadership. And I'm going to spend more time on how to develop the leader within you by understanding different levels of leadership. So let's get started. What is leadership? So whenever I'm asked to speak on leadership to any group of people, I generally begin my interaction with them by asking a simple question. So I'll say, raise your hand if you think you are a leader. And you know what happens? Some people will raise their hand. Some will be waiting for others to take the lead. Some of them are not sure whether they are a leader or not. And the rest will wait for me to repeat the question. Yes, years ago, I used to have the similar confusion. Am I a leader? Can I become a leader whom others would admire and follow? But you know what? A few years ago, when I joined John Maxwell team and I started studying leadership, and that's when my level of awareness started increasing. For the first time in my life, I learned that leadership is not about titles. It's all about influence. Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Let me reiterate. Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Actually, true leadership cannot be awarded. It cannot be appointed. It cannot be assigned. It only comes from influence. And some people think that it can be mandated. No, unfortunately, leadership cannot be mandated. It must be earned. And you know what? Leadership is not a noun. It's a verb. It's all about action. So let me try to, help you understand more about influence. Everyone influences someone. You may wonder, am I influencing someone? Yes. In any given situation, with any group of people, you will always see that the dynamics of influence is at play. So let me illustrate this to you with the help of an example. When your child is getting ready for school, during the process, usually his mother is the dominant, mother is usually the dominant influence. She may choose what he will eat, what he will wear. But when the child arrives at school, he may become the influencer, within his group of friends. But when the class begins, his teacher becomes the dominant influencer. And after the school, when the boy goes out and plays in the playground, maybe the neighborhood bully may have the most influence. And finally, maybe at night dinner time, maybe the dad has most influence at the table. So my point is, you will always, in any given situation with any group of people, you will always see that the dynamics of influence is at play. Someone will have more influence on others, or someone will have more influence than others. And it's quite interesting when I look at few teams. I'm working with close to 140 people now, and we've got our global offices, and we have the opportunity to work with a lot of global teams on day-to-day basis. And when I look at few teams, some people who do not have any authority or the title of a leader, but they start looking after the person sitting left of them and the person sitting right of them, and they continuously help others. And you know what? They enjoy doing that. Why do this happen? Why do we always see people going and asking questions to a particular person all the time? Because that person will give you the safe passage. You feel like you are secure. You don't feel like you're going to be judged by asking a question, by seeking the help. That's the kind of comfort that they give to each one of them within their team. So they give that safe passage to people to come and ask questions and take help. Within no time, these kind of people are needed everywhere within the team, on the floor, right, within the organization. Now, all of a sudden, their opinion is considered most valuable, because what happened in the process of helping people, they have made themselves as a most valuable asset, not just for the team, but also for the organization. Why? Because they're continuously adding value to others. So it doesn't matter what your title is. You can work on expanding your title by expanding your influence. And if you continuously work on expanding your influence with your team, with your division, within your organization, then what happens is you will start acquiring the title of chief problem solver, chief roadblock unblocker. The good news is no one need to give you these titles. Everyone can earn those titles on their own. Another good news is every organization has got these invisible titles available, for anyone to make a difference, show their influence, and then be a chief problem solver for that team, for that organization. Friends, if you're someone who is thinking that a title or seniority will automatically make you a leader, then you are wrong. And if you're someone who is thinking that the work experience will automatically make you a leader, let me tell you, you're absolutely wrong. Influence is the beginning of true leadership. And how do you increase your influence? By adding value to others. The day you take up the mantle as a leader, you should give up thinking about yourself. You should start thinking about others. It's not about you. It's all about others. All good leaders know that the day they become, that they get the title of a leader, and aspiring to become a better leader, good leader, then they know that they should stop thinking about themselves, and then they should start thinking about others. So it's not about you, it's all about others. So let me try to explain this. I love my grandfather. I've grown with 6 cousins, more or less of the same age. At the age of 6, every day we used to have a list for our grandfather. We used to think that God created grandparents to serve grandchildren. Oh yeah, we were 6 years old. Every day, my grandfather used to take us to a nearby playground and watch us playing various games with other kids. And our parents used to think that my grandfather is spoiling us. And this is a kind of routine for us. We prepare a list and we submit it to our grandfather. I promise you, every day on that list, you will have chocolates, lollipops, ice creams, cool drinks. And for some reason, if he ever forgets to buy them on our return journey back from playground to home, and we say, Grandpa, we are hungry and we need a snack, there's only one rule, and that is we couldn't tell this to our parents because parents are paranoid about it. So this is kind of a secret between us and our grandfather. We are 6 years old, and every day we have an agenda for our grandfather. It was all about us. Let me remind you, it was all about us. Not one time we went to our grandfather and said, Grandpa, we've been thinking about you, and you've done so much for us. What can we do for you? You see, it doesn't enter a 6-year-old mind that they should do something for someone else. It's okay at 6 years old, but it's sad when you are at 26, when you are at 36, or at 46. And you know what? It's even more pathetic if you're a leader and you have not figured out that it's not about you, it's about others. And if you've not figured out that it's not about you, it's all about others, and I really doubt whether you can grow any further in your career. Having this kind of mindset and making a difference in others' life will naturally show results in your life too. As I said, a good leader understands this. The day he takes up the mantle, he will give up thinking about himself. And you know what? Don't think just being a leader, don't think that you need to know everything. You don't have to know it all to be a great leader. You just be yourself, be authentic. Why? Because people would instead follow a leader who is always real than who is always right. Therefore, what you need to do, you always need to put others first and find ways and means to add value to them on a daily basis. And sometimes what happens, when I see in my, 20 years of corporate experience, I've seen some leaders with Robert's attitude, forget about after getting a title, forget about increasing your influence, and then, becoming a better leader by always keeping others' interest first and keep thinking about your team members instead of keep thinking about your own interests. Instead of that, forget about all of that. Some leaders, they will have Robert's attitude. And let me explain about these leaders. So I have a backyard in my home, and I've got a big mango tree. I've got every year that mango tree gives us, 500 to 700 mangoes. And our house is right next to the main road, and I and my wife, we both go to work. And since last 2 years, someone is coming and unplucking all the mangoes in a single day. They're all gone, and we will be enjoying looking at the mangoes on the tree, and then one day, everything is gone, been robbed by someone, and this is happening since last 2 years. So what is the mindset of robber? What is yours is mine, and I'm going to take it. Let me repeat. What is yours is mine, and I'm going to take it. So probably if you're a leader and if you're listening to this, you can maybe feel really good about this perspective, thinking that I don't have that mindset. I'm not a robber, because I don't think, I never think what is yours is mine and I'm going to take it. Right? Yeah, probably you're right. But I would like to remind you that we all have born with this kind of a perspective. Surprised? So think about a small kid. What is the perspective of a toddler? If I like it, it's mine. If I can take it away from you, then it's mine. If I had it a while ago, then it's mine. If I say it's mine, then it's mine. If it looks like mine, it's mine. And if you're having fun with it, then it's mine. Right? If it is broken, it's yours. Right? This is the kind of a toddler, right? So everyone has got that tinge of Robert's attitude, and we need to be very mindful about it. And if you're a follower, what kind of a mindset you will have. You're not a leader, you're just a follower. And what kind of a mindset you will have. What is mine, and I'm going to keep it. But I'm not going to talk about followers here. I'm talking about leaders. What kind of mindset leaders will have. What is mine is yours, and I'm going to give it. That's wonderful, isn't it? And some great leaders go one level up, and they say what is mine is not mine, and I'm going to manage it. This is even more beautiful. What they are trying to do. They are not attached to themselves. They are not attaching themselves to the prize. They are not attaching themselves to anything. They are always working on their teams, and they're always making their position redundant. Thereby, they are enabling their teams to take up that position, and they are aiming themselves for a better position. So this is wonderful, right? What is mine is yours, and I'm going to give it. What is mine is not mine, and I'm going to manage it. So now that I've established, and I told you that leadership is all about influence, nothing more, nothing less. And you need to work on improving your influence by constantly thinking about adding value to others on a daily basis, by helping others on daily basis. So now let me explain 5 levels of leadership. So let me share my screen and then take you through the 5 levels of leadership. Right. So, I just explained you about leadership. What is leadership? I told you it's leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And I also highlighted the fact that true leadership cannot be awarded, appointed, or assigned. It comes only from influence, and that cannot be mandated. It must be earned. So now let me talk to you about 5 levels of leadership. So if you can understand how you can go from one level to the other level, then you will end up expanding your leadership, your influence, and your effectiveness as a leader. So I'm ready to go, and I'm sure you're ready to go, and let's get started. And if you look at these levels, at the bottom level you have got level 1 is position. The key word there is rights, and on this level people would follow you because they have to. And then level 2 is permission level. The key word here is relationships, and people follow you because they want to. Level 3 is production level. The key word here is results, and people would follow you because of what you have done for the organization. And level 4 is people development, and the key word here is reproduction, and here people follow you because of what you have done for them. Level 5 is pinnacle level. The key word there is respect, and people follow you because of who you are and what you represent. And if you look at from bottom to the top, here people are following you because they have to. People are following you because they want to. People are following you because of what you have done for the organization. Here people are following you because of what you have done for them. And here people are following you because of who you are and what you represent. So now let's get started at the bottom level. So this is where I start, this is where you start, this is where everyone starts. So the bottom level is the position level. So we all start with a title, we all start with a position, and we all start with a rank, we all start with a job description. As I said, the keyword in level number 1 is rights. At level number 1, people follow you because they have to. In other words, you are the boss, you have the title, you are the supervisor. That's the only way they get their paycheck. Right? So anyone under that person basically follows that person at level 1. Remember, this is the beginning of our leadership journey. Sometimes people come to me and say, Kishore, I just became a leader last week. When they say it, I know what they meant. They didn't become a leader last week, and they got the leadership position last week. And I wanted to remind you one more time. I already told you that position doesn't make you a leader. I know a lot of people with position, and they're not good leaders. And I'm sure you can think of some leaders who also fall into such category. You probably might have worked with them before. So let me explain what is the upside of this level and what is the downside of this level. The upside of this level is it's a place where you and I get to shape and define ourselves as a leader. Because once you get this position, obviously you will start working on yourself, and you will start defining yourself, and start shaping up yourself. And the downside of level 1 is people who follow you will give you the least amount of their energy and effort. If they are following you, it's because they have to, because you have a title, you're the boss, and hence they always give you the least amount of their energy. And from my personal experience of leading teams, over more than a decade, and let me tell you, if you go and tell someone that you have to follow this person, they don't like that. People don't like to have to follow people because they have to follow people. On level 1, chances are more that you get the least amount of energy, attention from your people. But you know what? The good news is you don't need to stay on level 1, and you can go to level number 2. So let's go to level number 2. So what is level number 2? Permission. And the key word here is relationships. So at this level, people follow you because they want to. And you see, there is a world of difference between following someone because you have to versus following someone because you want to. So what happened between level 1 and 2? What happened is you connected with you connected with your people. You not only connected with them, but relationally you like them and they like you, and you got to know each other better. Now at this level, on level 2, they are following you not just because you are their leader. They are following you because now you are a leader whom they like to get connected with, right? There are a lot of leaders who I know with leadership titles. No, they're not likable. They're not just likable. People don't care for them. Let me tell you, it's tough being in the people business and not having people like you. Sometimes I just see them and I just wanted to sit with them and tell them, my name is Kishore and I'm your friend. People just don't like you. I'm sure you might have worked with someone whom you just didn't like, right? So relationship with people are the foundations of leadership. Leadership is influence, and if you cannot influence someone, so as I said, leadership is all about influence, and you cannot influence someone whom you antagonize. And if someone comes to you for help and you criticize them, you judge them, and you chase them away from you, and you demotivate them not to come to you next time, then it's like you are antagonizing them, and you cannot establish or you cannot increase your influence by antagonizing someone. As a leader, you have to reach out to their heart before you ask for a hand. And let me tell you, the leaders on level 2, they are good at doing 3 things. What are those? They listen well, they observe well, they learn well. So through listening, observing, and learning, leaders develop an attitude of servanthood. They know how to serve. They not only know how to serve, but they do serve. They not only do serve, but they love to serve. As I said, these guys are good at listening, right? They get all their leadership cues by slowly walking through the crowd on the floor, spending time with the team members, listening to the team, and understanding each other's perspective. It's an art. And I see a lot of leaders, they struggle to be, they struggle to inculcate this habit of listening. And they're always in rush to speak. But as a leader, if you wanted to develop your influence, if you wanted to be a great leader, you need to learn to be the last one to speak. Let me repeat it. You need to learn to be the last one to speak. Generally, what happens in my own experience, in team meetings, generally some leaders, what they do, they walk into a room and say, here is the problem. Here is what I think we should be doing it. And I'm interested in your opinion. And let's go around the room. It's too late, right? The skill is to hold your opinion to yourself until everyone has spoken. It does 2 things for you. It gives everybody else the feeling that they have been heard. It also gives everyone the ability that they have contributed something to the cause, and you get the benefit of hearing what everybody else has to think before you render your opinion. So friends, the skill here is keep your opinions to yourself until everyone is spoken. If you agree with somebody, don't say yes, and if you don't, if you disagree with somebody, don't say no. Simply sit there, take it all, and the only thing you are allowed to do is ask questions, so that you can understand their perspectives, where they're coming from, and why they are saying what they are saying. So you have to practice being the last to speak. Nelson Mandela, right? So he's universally regarded as a great leader. And an interesting thing is, he was son of a tribal chief. When he was asked by one day, one of the reporter asked him, how did you learn to be a great leader? He said, as a child, he would go with his father to tribal meetings, and he remembered 2 things whenever his father would go and meet the elders of the tribe. One, they would always sit in a circle. 2, his father always the last one to speak. Right? So listening is very, very important. So if you wanted to improve your relationships with your team, you always need to listen well, and you always need to remember one more important thing. You will not be remembered, you will not be honored by your team for your achievements, for your talents. Rather, you will be remembered, you will be appreciated how you impacted and touched their lives. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Let me repeat that. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Let me explain it with the help of an example, a personal story of mine. In 1997, I was adjudged as the best outgoing student of the college in which I graduated. I felt really great. After the announcement was made, the college management, and before departing from the college, I've stayed for about a month in the college, to complete my practical and theory, my practical and theory final exams. And all my friends started treating me special, because I was adjudged as the best outgoing student of the college for that academic year. And college going was it's a great time. I really enjoyed going to college, and especially after receiving this Best Outgoing Student Award. You understand what I'm talking about. And after a year, I had to go to the very same college for some signature. And I thought of, whenever I had the thought of going back to the college in which, I was considered as the best outgoing student and also happens to be a gold medalist, clouds started forming in my head. You understand what I mean, right? The clouds, my expectations are so high. I was thinking of myself that, and I was visualizing, I'll go to college and, I'll go and meet people and people would come to me. They show a lot of respect, so on and so forth. All those hopes came to a grinding halt when the watchman at the gate asked me, "Who are you?" I said, "Man, what's wrong with you? Don't you remember me?" He said, "No, sorry, I don't know. I'm a gold medalist of so-and-so batch, and I was given Best Outgoing Student Award in so-and-so year." I didn't, it didn't ring any bell to him. And I told him that I would like to meet Principal Sir. And the watchman said, "No, you can't. It's not possible to meet Principal Sir without appointment." I said, "Do I need appointment?" He said, "Yes, everybody needs an appointment." And he told me clearly that I could not go and meet the principal. Instead, he asked me to go and meet his secretary. Instead of going to, the principal's personal secretary room, I went to the staff room. And I thought someone there would recognize me. And when I was going towards the staff room, I saw the librarian madam and, the English lecturer. They were walking in the corridor. I gently displayed myself and asked the librarian madam with a golden hope, "Ma'am, do you remember me?" With a broad smile, she said, "Kishore, how can we forget you?" Hopes returned until she completed the sentence. "Kishore, how can we forget you? You are the one who locked us in the room." That was the moment of truth. That's when the moment of truth dawned on me. We are not remembered for our achievements, but we're always remembered how we impacted and touched people's lives. So my friends, if you're a leader, right, you need to make sure that you care your people well, and you need to position yourself as a rainmaker. You need to do something for your team that they cannot do it for themselves. You introduce them to people that they can't know on their own. Take them to places that they can't go on their own. Offer them opportunities that they can't reach on their own. You have to do something for someone who can never repay you. That's when you are called as a rainmaker. Okay, so now we're talking about level 2, which is permission level, and I'm explaining you how you can make great relationships with your people, with the people in your teams, in your organization. So on level 2, you not only have a title, you are now able to connect with people and establish great relationships. Well, so now you don't need to stay there on that level. Now you can go to the next level. So what is the next level? Production level. So level 3 is production level, and the keyword there is results. So at this level, you will help the bottom level of the company. You produce and model yourself and set yourself as an example. You know one thing, the greatest motivation principle in the world is people do what people see. And you don't want to be like a travel agent. You want it to be like a tour guide. Too many leaders are like travel agents. They're sending people to places where they have never been themselves. Like a leader who asks people to do things which he or she can never be able to do themselves. You don't want to be a travel agent, right? You want to be like a tour guide. You want to take people along with you in the journey, right? You have to, think about a tour guide. What do they do? They'll tell, this is the area I've been, this is where I live, this is the specialty of this particular place, this is how you can reach so and so place, right? So you definitely should try to become a travel tour guide rather than a travel agent. On level 3, you have to model things for your people by constantly producing results. So on level 3, people would follow you because of what you've done for the organization, because you're continuously producing results, you're modeling yourself. So obviously you are contributing to the organization, so people would obviously start following you. Another beauty of this level is that when you begin to grow things, you begin to get momentum. You understand momentum. Momentum is always leader's best friend. And a lot of, on this particular level, when you have momentum, a lot of problem solving is taken care of. Actually, momentum is a problem solver, and lack of momentum is a problem stopper. Let me explain you with the help of an example. Imagine how a train traveling with 70 km/h on a railway track, it can crash through a truck parked on the railway track without stopping, right? However, the same train, if it is about to start from a railway platform, from the rest position, it won't able to go through a 1 inch thick metal block when it is kept in front of its driving wheel. So my point here is, in the absence of momentum, even a small obstacle can prevent you from moving forward. I hope you're learning something today. Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is the people development level. So level 4 is the people development level, and the key word here is reproduction. On level 4, people follow you because of who you are and what you have done for them. I always say, people know me, they hear this all the time. You don't build a great business, you build people, and then people will build your business. So what is the biggest asset of any organization? People. The people are the biggest asset of any organization. So you have to commit yourself to develop your people. How do you grow your company? By developing people. But when you grow people, what happens? In turn, they increase their capacity. And when they increase their capacity, they increase what the company can do. I mean, my personal experience, the key to people development is recruitment. The better person that you bring through the front door, the greater the odds that you can do well with them. Research shows 80% of your success in equipping people to be successful is dependent on the front door, on who you bring in. In our company, in EnergyTech Global, we do certain things very consciously. We hire them right, we train them right, we treat them right, and we also position them right. Hire them right, train them right, treat them right, position them right. You see, successful people discover themselves, but successful leaders, they discover what other people are good at. Successful people always position themselves well, but successful leaders position other people well. And let me explain how can you equip your people, right? How do you do it? First you do it, because you have to reproduce what you know, right? And then once you do it, then what you do, you will start taking someone with you on the journey. So then you will go and say that I do it and you are with me. This is called the mentoring and coaching phase. So first you did it, then you are doing it, and you are with, someone is with you. Then later, then you go and tell him, you do it, you flip it and tell him, you do it and I am with you. This is where, people start getting better. And the next phase is you will, you've done it yourself, and you did, and you've taken someone along with you in the journey. Then you told him that you do it and I am with you. Then the next step is you do it by yourself. This is where, on this level, your assistance is no longer required. And then you should not stop at that stage. You have to go to the next stage where you tell them you do it and somebody is with you. This is the multiplication phase. This is where the compounding effect would happen. And this way you will continuously work on increasing the capacity of the people, increasing, you will start delegating more and more things to the bottom level. And that's when, as a leader, your ability to do more things would increase, and you would start attracting more. As you enhance your abilities, you will also start attracting good people like you, right? So my point here is equipping people is key to the growth of any organization. So now let's go back to the last level, which is the pinnacle level. So pinnacle level is the level 5, and the keyword here is respect. If you have done something so well with so many for so long, people just absolutely follow you. On level number 4 or level number 5, people follow you because of who you are and what you represent. People like Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King. There are a lot of people, and they lived certain principles throughout their life. So it takes a long time to reach to this position, and most of us are not there, and most of us would like to reach this position, and it's a lifelong journey. Okay, so now that we have seen 5 levels, and if you are like me, sitting and listening to this icon talk, and if you will start thinking, you wonder what level am I on with my team? Am I on level 1, 2, 3, 4? Where am I? So let me ask you this question: where are you with your team? When I ask this question, some of you may get a little frustrated because you won't be on the same level with everyone. You will be at different levels with the different people in your organization. With someone who is working with you for so long, probably you may be on level 3 or level 4. And with a new employee who may be at, who just joined your organization, you may be at level 1. So that's why I say leadership is always an ongoing, and it's an ongoing learning and growing process. You'll have to apply these levels to your life, and you have to begin to be a student of these 5 levels of leadership. Let me close this talk by saying that leadership is influence, always has been and always will be. And within you, you have the power to increase that influence. And once again, I thank Sunil for giving me this opportunity to participate in Icon Talks. Thank you and have a good day.